Everything has changed for the New York Jets as we have seen a football team do a complete 180 with what was going on last year compared to this year with new leadership at the helm, and also watching as the Jets got a clear-cut answer on a trade question that has been surrounding this team, while also showing off a hidden gem that Darren Mougey was able to pick up this season. And we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of that 64% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe for daily New York Jets updates, usually from Matt, but sometimes I am still here. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. But when we jump right into it, guys, look, Aaron Glenn has absolutely changed this football team, and it wasn't overnight. It was through every day in practice, but now seeing one preseason game under the Jets' belt, it is clear this is a completely new team, a completely different organization, and Aaron Glenn is just absolutely changing the way that the New York Jets operate. They operated with professionalism, they looked like a real team, and they looked like they enjoyed playing together. Those were things that we were looking for the Jets, and thinking if they can do stuff like that, if they could just be a respectful football team, it doesn't have to necessarily be on the wins-loss sides of things. Obviously, you want to win, and the Jets did just win, but you look at what we wanted, and it was just be cohesive, be a team, be a unit, have a leader, look like you actually have a purpose of being out there. The Jets did all that and then absolutely smoked the Green Bay Packers in the process. We saw a lot out of Justin Fields as well in that one drive, with Steven Zantz tweeting out that Fields is struggling in practice because the Jets have the best secondary in the league. It's not because of Justin Fields. While also Fields did have one drive as Aaron Glenn threw his starters out there in the beginning of the game. Justin Fields went 3 for 4 on completions, had 42 passing yards, had a rushing touchdown with 14 rushing yards, most of that coming off the rushing touchdown that he had. Justin Fields looked solid. And on top of that, we just saw a team that wanted to be together. We saw 3 quarterbacks go out there and play, mostly Adrian Martinez, who looked absolutely excellent in that game as well. Going 11 for 16, getting 152 yards, 9.5 yards per average, and also throwing the one passing touchdown of the game. Now, obviously, we'll get into all that as the video goes on. But, Matt, things have changed with this New York Jets team. This is a new unit out there. They clearly want to win. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of them thus far.
Things absolutely have changed, and it starts with the guy on the sidelines, Aaron Glenn. We know that when things go wrong, he is making changes. He's holding guys accountable. You can see, like, when Michael Clemens got into that fight in the beginning, Aaron Glenn, you could see him making sure he's yelling at him, making sure he knows that is not going to stand, and nothing like that happened from Michael Clemens or anyone else for the rest of the game. That's a positive change. We always note how Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich, they would kind of tell you, like, it's okay, we're going to get that changed at some point, but it never really, little problems never really got fixed. Last game, we watched little problems get fixed as easily and as quickly as one game. The game started off really not smoothly at all from the New York Jets. We had a bunch of penalties, but as they were mentioning on the broadcast, they said Aaron Glenn was going to fix it, and he absolutely did. Over the course of the game, the Jets committed less and less penalties as you watch the Packers just committed holding on what felt like every single play. I mean, there were so many flags thrown. It was hurting the watchability of the game a little bit, but at least it was on them, not us. Even with a quick turnaround, like a guy like Jay Tufele, we watched him before even the first snap of the game was called offsides, gave the Packers 1st and 5. But then at the end of the game, he actually ended with a really good game with the fumble recovery for a touchdown in the end zone, and he added another sack. Tufele had a very, very good game. Maybe that could be our second answer at that second defensive tackle position next to Mr. Quinnen Williams. We're going to see how that works, but I love the demeanor from Aaron Glenn on the sidelines. He is so calm no matter what is happening on the football field. And that makes you believe. That makes you believe in Aaron Glenn, makes you believe what he's saying, what he's doing. And when you believe in your leader, that makes everyone rally around that leader, and it turns you into an actual team instead of just a roster of players. And part of it is the fact that Aaron Glenn is not calling the plays on offense or defense. He's being a pure game manager and pure leadership character guy, which is a perfect role for him because he is just listening to him talk at press conferences, I have so much trust in him and love what he's doing. And just like you said, the Jets defense might be a little bit underrated and could be bouncing back from last season because we watched Justin Fields, his stats over the last 2 weeks in practice have been really, really bad. But Jordan Love, who we know is a really good quarterback with a very smart offensive-minded head coach in LaFleur, he only went 1 for 5 against the Jets defense. So that is a lower completion percentage than what Justin Fields had. So maybe we can slow the brakes a little bit. Like we said in our videos, slow the brakes on the Justin Fields stuff. Like we said, if he was an amazing quarterback, he wouldn't have been available for us. If he is going to develop for us, it's going to take time. It's not going to happen in August. Give him some time to develop. Looked good. Yesterday, of course, a lot of his yards were boosted from checkdowns, but if the checkdown is the right play, Tom Brady went to the Hall of Fame throwing checkdowns. Yeah. If the checkdown's the right play, throw the checkdown. He did everything we needed him to do. Pretty much, we need Justin Fields to be a mobile option and don't make mistakes. That's exactly what he did, and that's why the offense looked so good on that first drive.
No, absolutely. It was it's one of those situations where also you just look at this whole Jets team and just seeing a cohesive unit out there, both on offense and defense, was great. I mean, obviously, Jay Tufele didn't have the greatest beginning of the game, but his game ended really well. And when he recovered that fumble in the end zone for the touchdown, he ran over and he gave the ball to Aaron Glenn, who was like so just hyped up. Not because he was getting the football. I don't think Aaron Glenn really cared about the football part of it. He could touch a football whenever he wants. He actually played in the NFL, believe it or not. But when it comes to it was just seeing his team, seeing them do exactly what he was trying to instill in this team, seeing them operate as a squad. You never saw someone run up to Robert Saleh and just jump at him, let's go. All you saw was Aaron Rodgers literally yelling at Robert Saleh for not being good at his job. Now, not like Rodgers had the greatest season in the world last year, but when it came down to it, it was just, it feels like I was watching a completely different team. One of the things that I also, just because you mentioned Quinnen Williams earlier, one of the things I was thinking about the Jets when I was watching them yesterday was how the defense and the pass rush looked solid, despite not having Quinnen Williams, who's one of the best disruptors on the interior defensive line, and really just on the defensive line anywhere in the NFL. He's one of football's best disruptors. He was injured. He did not play. And the pass rush looked more than solid. It looked like an actually talented group. And that's been one of the biggest questions surrounding the Jets. Last year, the pass rush was not good. They tried to get something going with Hassan Reddick. Obviously, Reddick was too busy scamming old people or something weird to play football. But then obviously he stepped in and was just downright atrocious. And frankly, there was just Will McDonald was good last year. He was solid, but the Jets are also banking on Jermaine Johnson, who's not fully back yet from that Achilles, of course. But when it comes down to it, we're seeing a unit that's working together, and basically in every area they exceeded expectations. I think what exceeded my expectations the most was Adrian Martinez, though. I mean, that dude came out of nowhere. We saw 3 quarterbacks play for the Jets. Justin Fields did the first drive. Then Brady Cook came in for a little bit. Went 6 for 8, 62 yards. Very, very confident in that as well. Showed that arm strength on top of the ability to run. Fans were loving the UDFA pickup that Brady Cook was out of Missouri. Obviously teammates with Armand Membo. And back in the day, of course, he's teammates with him now. But with Martinez, he just looked straight up good. And I mean, this man won an MVP outside of the NFL, so the question is he going to be able to hang in the NFL? Again, Justin Fields is the starting quarterback. We all know that. These are the 3 quarterbacks that it looks like, without not mentioning Tyrod Taylor, that are really going to be playing a whole lot in preseason. You don't need Tyrod Taylor in the preseason. You know what Taylor's going to bring, so there's no real reason. And Martinez and Cook are sort of fighting, or not sort of, they are fighting for that 3rd quarterback spot. The other one will likely be relegated to the practice squad, and I mean, it's Martinez. It's very clearly Adrian Martinez. Matt, I thought Adrian Martinez was one of the biggest bright spots of the Jets last night. Watching him sling the ball, he was great, and he was fun, and he threw a touchdown. It was an excellent performance out of him.
Yep, a lot of Jets fans have been hyping up the Brady Cook signing, but my question for the people who are excited about Brady Cook is what spot on the roster is he going to take? Our quarterback 3 is going to be Adrian Martinez. He has... I know he hasn't been able to break out in the regular season or anything like that, but he shows out every single preseason. Happened last year. It's happening this year. He's a really solid quarterback 3. I don't expect him to lose that job to an undrafted free agent quarterback. So I do think that spot is absolutely locked up. But Chris, the undrafted rookie free agent that we need to be talking about is Donovan Edwards out of Michigan. He had about a 75-yard rushing touchdown called back due to a penalty. A lot of the penalties were good calls last night. That one wasn't. That should have stood. But Donovan Edwards really, really showed people that maybe he did deserve to get drafted. I know a lot of people were very high on Donovan Edwards coming out of Michigan, and then he went undrafted, which surprised many people. If you dive deeply into the analytics, they tell a different story than what your eyes will tell you. So, the problem with Donovan Edwards, he's facing the same thing like Brady Cook, is what position does he fill? And the only spot, Quinnen Williams is going to be our kick returner as well as our running back 4. I mean, does he try to outplay Isaiah Davis? Is he going to take over those kick returns? If Donovan Edwards does accept kick return responsibilities, then I would say he would give himself a much better opportunity to make the roster. And what a week ago, it looked like it was very clear and obvious that it was going to go Isaiah Davis, Quinnen Williams, and then Donovan Edwards was going to get cut or practice squatted. I think Donovan Edwards absolutely cracked the door open to give himself a real opportunity to make this roster.
I agree, and I mean, he had the most rushing attempts out of any single Jets player, so honestly, I do see a world where he will find a way onto the roster, and that's something that I did mention earlier on this video that I wanted to talk about. Was there's also an impact on trade stuff here. As we know, Breece Hall is not signed to a contract right now, and there's a lot of discussion on if the Jets, or well, you know what I mean, he's not signed to an extension right now, and there's a lot of questions whether the Jets will sign him. Me and you have both said multiple times, more often than not, you should lean towards not extending a running back. There are exceptions to that rule, of course, if you're in that prime Derrick Henry role, and Derrick Henry's still great. If you're in that Christian McCaffrey role, Saquon Barkley, like there's exceptions to this rule, but it's when you're the very best of the best at your position. When it comes to Breece Hall, he's great, and he has potential to be there, but right now up on the screen, it sounds like this is Breece Hall up on the screen. It's Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen looked excellent as well. He looked like he could be a running back 1 for the Jets, and if that's the case, then not only does Donovan Edwards crack the door open for himself to make the team, he also cracked the door open for the Jets to go, wow, we have a ton of good running backs. We can look to trade Breece Hall. The thought is now on the table, I would say, with moving on from Breece Hall, just based off the fact that the Jets look like their entire running back room is excellent.
The answer to whether or not Breece Hall should be traded is going to come down to what is the New York Jets roster record at the trade deadline. If they're looking like contenders, you hang on to them. If they're not contenders, don't take the draft pick. Don't take the running back. Take the draft pick. But the one issue that would arise should they trade Breece Hall would be Braylon Allen isn't a great pass catcher, but then you remember Donovan Edwards. One of the best things that he does is catch the football. He had a great catch on a Texas route or a running back angle route, if you want to call it that, yesterday. So he can also pick up the slack in the running back receiving room should Breece Hall find his way in a trade package.
Yeah, I really liked seeing that. I liked seeing the way that they all their running backs looked good. Obviously, Breece barely played, but similar to Tyrod Taylor in some ways, obviously much different points of their career, but like, you know what you're getting out of Breece Hall. Like, we don't have to sit around and question. The question is Breece Hall going to reach that next level that he absolutely can, or is this the guy we got? But we're going to see that in the regular season. We don't need to see, we know what Breece Hall can do. We know he's a running back 1 in the NFL, so it's not like you have to really use him in the preseason at all. He'll definitely get some run time. He did yesterday, and it'll really pick up a little bit, but honestly, where things stand for the Jets right now, I think that everything looked absolutely excellent. And one other thing I wanted to bring up, just because he did score the passing touchdown, Stone Smart, great touchdown. Like, got the ball, flew down the field, and considering the Jets' tight end situation outside of Mason Taylor is definitely a question. Just, is it going to be at all playable outside of Taylor? How ready is Taylor going to be? And on top of that, it kind of extends to the whole Jets receiving core. And I mean, Lazard had a good game. Obviously, again, we know what Garrett Wilson's bringing to the table, but Stone Smart looked very good for a tight end 3.
When you are using formations that has you bringing in multiple tight ends, most of the time you're running the football. So a third string tight end the point I'm trying to make is I'm not sure what the role is for a run first team for their tight end 3 who isn't a good run blocker.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's someone who can actually, when everyone's healthy, is going to be able to give something real to the starting lineup. I do think that would be better off if he was a guy who can block and receive, or just a pure blocker, because that position it's just a weird fit. It can work, but I do think there would be a better fit for this New York Jets, specifically their roster, instead of a pass only tight end at tight end 3.
I agree. I mean, we're going to see how it all goes. Obviously, we're one preseason game in. But Matt, I know for a fact, like me, you are very excited that Jets football is back, which is sometimes tough to watch, or has been for our lives. But still, it's nice to see them back. It was nice to see that Aaron Glenn has had that impact on the team. And I mean, based on what happened last year, even if the win-loss record doesn't show it on this whole season that's coming up, it's only up from here, and things finally feel like there's stability. And I'm honestly ready to name Aaron Glenn a top 3 coach in Jets history already. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. He's the best coach of my lifetime. I've seen it. Sorry, Rex. You were great.
But he's not fat.
No! I forgot Rex Ryan. He's Adam Sandler's bookie, and that's my boy, and that's what really matters, because the fat guy won the race, and it ties back into fat people are great. Guys, make sure to gain 55 pounds before watching a Jets Digest video to make me happy. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets.